Hey everybody, Substatica here. Welcome to Grim. In this video, I'm going to be going over basic electronics and wiring for your base. I'd like to thank the studio for providing us access to Grim. And before we get started, take a minute to click the S in the corner to subscribe. Heading for 50,000 subscribers, almost there, and I'd love to have you on the team. Also like, share, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video or the game. And if you've played Grim, leave your tips, tricks, and questions in the comments as well. If you're interested in getting 10 to 20% off your Meta Quest games and apps, you can use the link in the description and you'll be supporting this channel at the same time. Now, I'm going to go over the basic requirements for wiring your base and a couple basic setups. If you're interested in something more in-depth, absolute legend Metasukia has a video on his channel. I highly encourage you to go check that out when you're ready for the next level. Let's get into it. Now, you're going to need a tool cupboard because the wire tool will not work if you do not have a tool cupboard. You don't have to have anything in it, but you need to have a tool cupboard. If you don't have a wiring tool, you're going to need a level 1 crafting bench to craft one. And you are also going to need some high quality metal. Wire tool requires 2 high quality metal in order to craft it. I've got one made already, so let's get to wiring. We are going to start with the most simple of setups, which is a power supply, this solar panel, and a light. So we're going to head up to the roof. We're going to grab our wire tool. Now, I like to hold the wire tool in my left hand because that allows me to crouch a lot easier and it doesn't interfere with pressing the buttons. So, holding your wiring tool, you want to press the index trigger. You're going to get a red dot when it's invalid. If you don't have a tool cupboard, the dot will always be red. If you have a tool cupboard, the dot will turn yellow when you are on a valid junction. Then you want to press the upper button on the controller to start your wiring run. When you want to create a pivot point, press the same button, the upper button on the controller, and then you get a pivot point. So let's drop down. We'll drop the wire through the ceiling here and then run it over to our light. That's it. One light lit from that solar panel. Now, lights we can daisy chain, so we can actually run a wire from this light to this light and power them both from that same solar panel. So that's our basic setup. Over here, we've got something a little more complex. We've got a rechargeable battery, we've got a combiner, a switch, a splitter, a light, a turret, and some panels. Now, basically you want to combine power sources and then split the output. The switch you can put in a variety of places, but you should probably put it after your battery. So let's start wiring up these panels. Start with this one, down to the roof, then we'll drop down. Now, the combiners and splitters can get a bit confusing. They both have junctions on either side. The combiner has multiple junctions on the bottom, and the splitter has multiple junctions on the top. So what we are going to do is run all of our sources into the bottom of the combiner. Okay, that looks good. No, not to there. We're not going to there. Don't let it snap where you don't want it to go. Let's get a bit closer to here. Can't quite aim it exactly where I want. That's pretty good. This is where having it in your left hand gets handy because you can crouch easily. And let's go to the center one there. So our sources are wired to our combiner, and we want to take the output from our combiner. It's combined those sources, and let's just go up to keep it a bit tidy. Over here, down, and we are going to use these solar panels and combiner to charge our battery. So if all has been done right, we should be going into the blue because we came out of the red of the sources. That looks good. So now we are going to take the output from the battery, which is the red, and we are going to run it into the bottom of our switch. And this switch is going to turn on and off all of our powered devices. Now we're going to take the output from our switch, and we are going to run it to the bottom of our splitter. The bottom should have one input, and then the top has multiple outputs. So we're going to take one output from our splitter to the ceiling to power our light. And we're going to take one output from the splitter to power our turret. And that is our wiring setup. We go from our solar panels or our power sources, our power supplies, into a combiner, out from the combiner, into a battery, out from the battery to our switch, from our switch to a splitter, and the splitter goes to potentially another splitter or multiple devices. Now, if everything is correct, we should get a light and a turret. Whew, that's freaky. It's got no ammo. I wasn't sure about that, but I guess it doesn't. I don't know if they spawn with ammo in our test habitat here. But there you go. We've got the most simple of setups over here. And then we've got a little more complex over here, but still pretty clear. From our power supplies to our combiner to our battery to our switch to our splitter to our devices. Now the trickiest part is making sure that when you're using a combiner, you are sending your inputs into the bottom, and that when you're using a splitter, you're sending your input into the bottom as well, because they will snap to the outputs. And then you're going to have to take things down and redo everything. But there you go. Simple wiring in Grim. If you haven't already, take a minute to click the S in the corner to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.